Recording in progress.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey Fraser and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We are streaming live on our Twitter handle at Barbershop SPOR2, also on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page on Facebook Live. I'm Trey Fraser. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's good, man? How we feeling, man? Back like we never left.
Good, man. I'm good, man. How you?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed, man. Happy to be here, man. Happy to be
Yes,
back
sir.
doing this, man.
Absolutely. How was vacation?
Vacation was great. Mexico was fun. Didn't like the travel coming back, but 116 people with us, family, friends, mixed, and everything. Poolside, beach, all that good stuff, man. It was fun, bro. It was good. Good to get some time off, from the from the usual stuff. So, how's your summer so far? Cause we did the podcast a month ago, and then happy belated birthday to your daughter. By the way,
We were on while. We were
okay.
Yeah.
It's been so long, but
Yeah.
But I know we had a chance to catch up before I went on vacation and stuff. How's the summer been for you so far?
Summer's been good, man. Been working, been relaxing, a little bit of everything, man. Got to see Erica Badu. So that was
How was that?
That was very. Oh man, it was everything. It was everything you kind of hoped it would be, man.
Of course.
Yeah. Shout out to Erica Badu, seen Most Def. Erica Badu brought Junkyard on, so that's
Nice.
always good. That's always good.
Nice.
I went to see Kehlani, which I'm not a big Kehlani fan. I am not gonna pretend to be one, but it was
Yep.
I've been out a little bit. I've been telling myself to get outside a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I did that. Working, man. The Beat Tape Got One is doing well.
Yep.
And I just dropped another project with my man Andrew Jackson, the Great Unknown. Shout out to Andrew Jackson. Shout out to Judah. Yeah, man. So we seeing how that's working. I mean, dope hip hop, man. If you a fan of New York hip hop with a little 808, just a little sprinkle of 808s in there, I think we got one for y'all, man. So click the link in the bio. Follow me at Maestro Styles everywhere. And download that new project, quick 11 songs, classic like Common B album. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's what's up.
For
man.
sure.
That's what's up. So, we talked a little bit before we got on here, talking to you about being in DC today. So, tomorrow is my last day at my current job. Right before we went to Mexico, I got a job offer from a company right up the street from you, actually. I'm going to be working in D.C. Starting next Tuesday, right there on Minnesota Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, over there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They offered me the bag, bro. I got to be honest with you. I was not looking to leave where I was at. But a friend of mine, and you met her. She was at my birthday party earlier this year. She used to work with me where I'm at now, but she got a job at the place where I'm going at now back in March. And then she just hit me up one day and was like, hey, they looking for an estimator. And I was like, okay, I'll shoot you my resume and, see what's up. Next thing you know, I get the call, do the virtual interview. Then about a week later, they hit me up, was like, hey, we want to meet you for lunch and, talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Did that. And then the Friday before we left for Mexico, sent me the offer, and they said, "Yo, we want to pay you 33% more than what you're making now." So
yeah.
At that point, because the deterrent for me was driving to DC from home.
Right.
That was the deterrent at first, but then they have remote working, so I only get to go to the office 2 times a week. Work from home 3 days a week. So I think I could stomach 2 days of sitting in traffic, coming back, and plus I could start as early as I want to. I could try to get out of there as early as I can to try to beat some of the traffic. But DC is crazy, and it's, in my opinion, it's gotten worse with the traffic down there. So,
that's what's up, bro.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. So shout out to Yvonne for hooking her brother up with that, and shout out to the good folks that I used to work with. It'll be,
shout out to them.
It'll be it'll be a bit something tomorrow, but I got a 4-day weekend coming up, and we headed up top for the weekend, so pretty excited about that.
That's what's up. Bone to pick. I thought about it this morning. I noticed it this morning, bruh.
Yep.
You think you're slick, bruh, but you sent me the graphic this morning.
Okay.
And something about it seemed off, and I was like, what's bothering me about this graphic?
Okay.
It's all purple.
Oh. Okay. So I have an explanation for that. So that's the only color that with that fit.
Okay.
That's the only one. That wasn't me intentionally putting it to be purple because of the Ravens. That wasn't intentional. That was just me looking through the options, and I just thought that one fit the best of all of them. But
interesting.
But for your sake, if you wanna dive into color schemes,
you playing with
and
me.
all that.
You playing with me. It's cool. It's cool. I have no way of proving that. I have no way of proving that you're being facetious.
Well, okay. I mean, we can.
But it's cool.
We can go through color schemes, bro. It's all good.
It's cool, bro. It's cool.
Speaking of which, for those that are watching us streaming right now, if you caught the beginning of the show, we got the brand new intro theme. I want to give quick shout outs to you for dropping the 8 bars on the track, and a shout out to my cousin Miles, Stormbox Studios. That's his platform. He put together the video, and really did some cool things with it, and so wanted to give you two brothers a shout out and everything.
Yes, sir.
And if you guys want to follow him, because he does a lot of videos for other people and places and stuff. At Stormbox Studios is his handle on Twitter and on Instagram. So make sure y'all check that brother out. He's doing some great things with his video making and all that good stuff. So I guess
it's a lot of shit going on, man.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a lot going on. I just want to make sure I don't miss nothing, but we
gonna miss something, but because there's been a lot going on in a month, so we gonna miss something.
Yeah, definitely.
But if I could, I guess ice break. I want an ice break if that's okay. I don't know if you wanted to talk about what we got going on today, but
yeah, I wanted to get to that real quick. So
okay,
but I did want to mention too, leading into that we are officially about to start our 9th year doing this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that too.
Yeah. So if you want to call it season 9 or year 9, whatever, this is where it's at right now. So we've come a long way for certain doing this, and so I love making
long
history.
Way to go.
Absolutely. I love making history when it comes to this podcast, and so we got not 1, not 2, but we got 3 guests coming up today in just about 15 minutes. We had a couple of the guests on earlier this year, Jodi Newsom, Megan Hall, and then we got Ebony, a.k.a. E the Goddess. So the 3 of them together have started a new podcast called the Sports Tea Podcast, which you can find on the YouTube channel. They're also on Twitter, and they're also on Instagram, and they've already had a couple of episodes come out. So they do that every Thursday, I think at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and so make sure y'all folks check that out. But we got the three of them coming on to talk about how they got together, who came up with the idea, and we're gonna get into some real NFL talk. We got some top 5 lists going on. Between the three of them, they root for different teams. Jodi's a Chiefs fan, Meg's a Colts fan, and Ebony is an Atlanta Falcons fan. So
okay,
we certainly gonna have some fun with that one. But you wanted to get into a little bit of something.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Cam and Mace. It's feeling like they're like a weekly conversation with us nowadays. Have you been noticing that it seems that there's officially being a civil war being waged between quote unquote old media and new media? So
I've noticed that.
Yeah,
I do want to mention in the middle of that too. I think right after our last episode, ESPN had a bunch of layoffs and stuff, and I think that was one of the topics that Cam and Mace were talking about a few episodes ago. And then Cam came out with the video talking about, hey, we coming for y'all. We got, we the source and all this stuff, which I dig that. Like, I love the talk from Cam when it comes to that. But yeah, I've noticed. It seems like old media versus new media. There seems to be this it's back and forth going on.
Yeah. So yesterday I'm, doing my scrolling thing, and Stephen A posted his, his normal little clips, but rarely, like, he cusses, but rarely did he say fuck, or he'll slip a shit in every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But he seemed and I'll admit that I don't got the full story on what exactly he was talking about. I know he had a conversation with Dan Le Batard recently about some shit that Dan Le Batard said about ESPN, but
that they ruined sports talk. That's what Dan Le Batard said.
Right. And look, man, it feels like, and I think I'm so thankful for people like Cam. Because this is healthy. This. Let's be clear.
Yes.
This is healthy.
Yes.
There is definitely something going on, and it's being noticed. ESPN. Have you seen First Take recently?
So I saw the First Take episode where they brought the 50 years of hip hop topic, and then they were saying who's your athlete versus rapper or MC comparison, and shout out to Kimberly Martin, because that's one of my favorites. But she had the weirdest rapper athlete comparison of everybody that labeled there. She said Lamar Jackson and Eminem, which
Eminem. That's what I was trying to remember. Who was the player?
It kind of it's like, I don't know where you was going with that one, Kimberly.
Right, and then they're having cap sessions. Now they're having who's capping sessions, and I don't know, man. It's you cut all these people. ESPN meaning, and then now you asking these new people to like. I didn't see the episode, but but when the cap episode, the cap segment, let me say, where it looked like Malika Williams didn't even really know what, like that's not even.
I didn't see that. I know Cam referenced that, but I didn't see Malika and what he was talking about there.
Yeah, so I don't. That to say, one, my question is how do you feel about this civil war? And two, as a smaller, I guess, contributor to media, where do you see our involvement in this civil war, if at all?
Well, first, let me say, God bless everyone that got laid off. At
for
ESPN,
sure.
and
for
that,
sure.
They land on their feet, one way or the other. But to kind of lead into that, I think that podcast and former talking heads who work for the network or whoever network you used to work at, this has kind of been the way to go now. Like, you're seeing Stephen A. kind of rebranding his, platform. You see Dan Le Batard doing his thing. Jamel Hill's got her podcast. Sooner or later, you're probably going to see Marcellus and Max do something in some capacity. A lot of these, former heads of ESPN, I mean, even people, like, they laid off Susie Colbert. Susie Colbert been with ESPN for almost 3 decades. That probably was the one that kind of shocked me the most of all the ones that they laid off. But I like what, and again, kind of going back to what Cam said, I like the fact that every person that's got a podcast or a radio, internet show is kind of doing their own thing. Like even Josina Anderson, she's got her own platform after she was let go by ESPN a few years ago. And so I think Cam made a good point. They're the source, right? So everyone that's doing these shows are kind of like their own source and have intel. And I think that's bad for somebody like ESPN.
Well, what I'll say is, that both medias need they have a place. Both of them have a place.
Yeah.
So that's my personal opinion. They both have a place. I mean, look, man, it's just some people are comfortable talking to ESPN and that kind of a platform when they want to be asked safe questions and things that don't want, just a clean, good, safe interview. But they had Paul Pierce on It Is What It Is the other day.
Yeah.
He cussing. He talking about I'm better than LeBron or
then Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade, I'm sorry. And but like they ask him the real questions where he gotta candidly answer, and it's not like no PC shit. He gotta answer the question straight up. Like he was trying to come with answers, and when Mace wasn't feeling the answer, he's like, "Nah, I ain't feeling like bro. I ain't feeling that." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So my point is that there's a lane for both.
Mm-hmm.
But right now you gotta kind of, I think ESPN, I think that's why they gave Pat McAfee all this money. To be on ESPN. You gotta recognize that we want mess. The consumer, me the consumer. We want mess. We don't want. I mean, there's a place for clean interviews, but we want a little bit of mess on our interviews. We want a little bit. We want to be able to ask. We want to know the questions that we really want to know, and not the easy shit.
Right.
Like, we don't want the easy shit. We want the tough questions that make these people uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And shout out to the new media, and people like that. It
Cam
is
and Mace.
All the smoke, you got to be able to ask the tough questions, and and I appreciate it. But to answer the question for me, let me say, there is definitely a lane for both. I will always be more new media than old media, just because I just flat out don't watch. I just don't watch ESPN like that. I just don't.
Right. Right.
But I recognize their value. It's just that they're gonna have to respect. They're gonna have to share. They're gonna have to share the table.
ESPN is going to have to adjust to what new media is doing, and is going to have to adapt to eventually what people want. We want to see Cam and Mace, who, by the way, played ball in high school together, so it's not like they're like some unknowns to the sports, industry and all that. We want to see that. We want to see the hard questions being asked. We want to see the former athletes answer these questions straight up, no PC stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We want to see all that. And I think what's going to end up happening, and because ESPN, they're the brand. Like, we got to respect the brand at the end of the day. They're going to make adjustments. They're going to find a way to adapt to what new media is now. And I think, like you said, there's a lane for both old and new to exist in the same universe.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But I like the spiciness. Shout out to Cam, and Ice Cube is gonna be, is on there next. I think
I'm gonna check that one out. I still have to watch because I watched part 1 of the Paul Pierce.
Yeah, I didn't watch
interview.
part 2 either.
Yeah,
I didn't watch part 2 either.
So I got to look forward to that. So that definitely. And speaking of Ice Cube, man, he's been taking some, I don't know, some criticism and stuff. Did you see? Not to get off topic, but you see him with Tucker Carlson walking through LA and all this stuff? Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't want to expand too much further into it. All I'll tell you is that as I'm scrolling on my screen, I see Tucker Carlson with Ice Cube walking the streets of LA. I guess Tucker Carlson's interviewing Ice Cube in some capacity, and a lot of folks in our community don't like it. So
I ain't got a problem with it because he letting the real niggas talk to him too. So I ain't got no problem with it. I mean, look, he's been doing this. He was meeting with Trump when he was president.
Right,
Isn't it?
right.
This ain't nothing short of what Ice Cube has always done. Ice Cube will talk to you, and he'll, whatever he says behind them closed doors, I don't know. But it's not like Ice Cube ain't talking to us and he just talking to them. He talking to everybody, trying to deliver whatever his message is. So I ain't got no problem with that at all. At all.
Yep. Hey,
at all.
Just so I don't miss out on this, quick shout out to the James family, and
for sure,
we praying for the kid Bronny to pull through after cardiac arrest after I guess a workout at USC. Yeah, and the people at USC responded, did a great job according to what LeBron was saying on social media. And we just wish Bronny nothing but the best moving forward. Yeah. That's really all I gotta say as far as that's concerned. For the people that want to talk about is he gonna play again and what the future holds for him, let that kind of play itself out. I mean,
but let me be clear.
Yeah,
I hope he makes it if he can make it healthily.
Yep,
I hope he makes it.
I hope he does too.
I hope it.
I'm optimistic
about that.
Yeah.
And let's be clear. From everything I've seen, read, heard, it seems like it was kind of a freak accident type of thing, and that while it's not something that you would shit on like it's trivial, but it's not like
it's a serious thing. Cardiac arrest is a serious thing.
What I'm understanding though is that with his health, that it's not something that's like he got to slow down because he going too hard, or you know what I'm saying, nothing like that. Just from what I'm hearing, I don't want to speculate too much because I ain't a doctor and I ain't there and I don't know. Yeah. But I do hope that he can healthily continue his basketball career. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm really optimistic for him on that front. So
prayerful.
And a side note too, since we're talking about people getting healthy, we did finally get a Jamie Foxx sighting, and thank God for that, brother, that he's doing all right. And hopefully, we could see him, in some movies, TV shows.
Well, he just dropped one last week.
The Clone joint, right?
I ain't watched it yet, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm happy the brother resurfaced and let everybody know how he was doing and all that stuff. So,
shout out to his team, man, because nobody knew nothing until he decided to come out and say something.
Right. Nobody knew nothing.
Shout out to his team.
Right. The daughter came out maybe weeks ago and posted gave an update, but that was about it. And then people was accusing the daughter of lying and all this stuff, and it's like, guys, let's calm down. Let's give the family some rest, right? So, so let's so we got guest number 1. We got guest number 2 coming in. They're gonna start flocking in at some point. We're just waiting for one more to pull through here, but let me give the intro like I normally do here. So we got the ladies of the Sports Tea Podcast on with us right now. We got Megan Hall, We got Ebony, a.k.a. E the Goddess. We still waiting for Jodi Newsom to come through. The Sports Tea Podcast, which you can find on your YouTube channel, also on Instagram, and you can follow him on Twitter as well. The show comes on every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Let's welcome him in. Ebony, if you can hear me, how you doing? What's going on?
I am good. How are y'all doing?
Cool and how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all too. I'm good. Coming straight from that Atlanta, Georgia, baby. I already know.
All right. No doubt.
It's too early.
They already know. They already know.
We got the whole team.
Yes, the whole team is here and kicking it all the way from Dallas, Texas. You know, I stayed in Texas for a minute, so shout out. But you claim it. You claim it. You claim it that.
Kansas City. Hold on.
Missouri. I just live in Dallas.
Look. That's how I was when I was living out there. I'm from Atlanta, but I live here. That's it.
There you go.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Welcome back, Megan and
for sure, Megan.
Jodi. Welcome back. How's everything?
Good to see y'all again.
Yeah, good to see you. Been a minute.
Yeah, I see y'all in these streets, man. I see y'all in these internet streets shining.
We tried, somewhat.
Look, I'm exhausted. I was 5 minutes away from a nap before this started.
It's been a long day.
That's probably the truth, honestly. Jodi texted me earlier. She was like, "Girl,
Yeah, I'm like, I'm down bad.
I'm tired."
Okay.
Been that kind of day, huh?
Yeah.
But it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Hey, man. The price of success.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna start with Ebony because she's new to the show here. So I saw you guys get together some months ago. Y'all taking pictures and stuff. Y'all in the same city and all this stuff. And then weeks later, I hear y'all starting this podcast, and I was like, oh, I see what y'all doing. That's what's up. So Ebony, let everybody know who came up with the idea, and how did you guys end up doing this podcast together?
You want to know? This is a very, very, very funny story. So blame me and Jodi for this. Yeah. So no. We actually got together. It was actually somebody's birthday weekend, so we were celebrating her birthday.
And Megan.
Yes, Megan.
Your birthday on the same day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
So we were actually just, Jodi was like, hey, I'm just going to come to Atlanta. Just get ready. I'm coming. And we just like, hey, Meg, come and join and let's hang together for a weekend. And honestly, we were sitting down at a table just talking like we will regularly do on Twitter, on Spaces, having football talk. And one of the waiters actually overheard us talking and kind of asked, like, hey, are you guys, in sports media? Like, I hear you guys talking about sports. I'm interested. And it really kind of just, we were kind of taken aback because we were like, well, I didn't think that we were having that big of a impact like that, because we're just having a regular conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So our good friend Meg over here was just like, hey, you guys, I got an idea. I keep thinking back to that day of us just sitting there. Can remind you, we were really sitting out there having brunch, and we didn't realize the place would be
mimosas, Bellini, sparkling water.
Yeah.
It was a brunch.
Yeah, they was doing it up.
It was a beautiful day.
4 hours passed by before we knew it.
Right.
Exactly. We're chilling in Buckhead, just getting the breeze and everything, and didn't even know the restaurant was basically switching over to dinner.
Yeah.
That's
We
how
was like,
deep the
where all the
conversation
people
was.
go? Everybody left, y'all. We still.
And we're just still there. But no, Meg was just like, hey, why don't we actually make this into a reality and kind of just make a podcast really just based on us just having conversation, having fun with us like regular. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. This will probably be able to change the game, and we're here.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Well, look, I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all like to talk sports, and we like talking sports. So let's get straight to the shits. Let's get straight to the shits. I was getting ready to talk about the Commanders who have finally sold out. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson. I'm seeing them all. Magic Johnson partying. He got the go going. I want to know right off rip. I'm gonna start with Megan. Megan, thoughts on the Commanders and what is going to happen now in your humble opinion?
Yeah, no pressure or
Did you
anything.
see her clip that we posted today?
No,
I did not.
So
Meg had a whole hot take about this last week on our podcast, and we posted it today.
So something in my
hot
man
take, but-
intuition said to ask Megan. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all ain't no men had intuition. See, we got that.
Yeah,
No, honestly, for me, I really talked about just a culture shift for them. I think the biggest thing with Commanders fans is they've been waiting a long time for this to happen.
Yeah.
And not just Commanders fans, but it seems like ownership across the league is like, hey, this guy's got to go, right? He's setting a dangerous precedent that we cannot, support or reinforce. I think the other thing here is for the Commanders, they've now got, some shakeups on the staff there. You got Eric Bieniemy from KC there. You've got Sam Howell at quarterback. Like, they've got some things moving. They have a ton of weapons there. So I think for Commanders fans, they're like, okay, great. Like, now we can finally start moving forward here. I think the biggest things for them will be like, how will this culture shift look, in 5 years from now, right? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to, is with this new ownership, what sort of things will they ingrain here? Because I really feel like Dan Snyder, that was a toxic culture, for lack of a better phrase, a really toxic culture. So you have several residuals from that you're unfortunately going to have to deal with for a little while until you change the mindsets of not only the people in the organization, but the players and the fans too.
Yeah, for sure. Jodi, I posed the same question because I'm in the DMV and my people wants to know what y'all think.
So, I'm like huge EB lover, love Eric Bieniemy. I fully believe that he'll be a head coach there soon. It's just going to come with time. And I'm sure you guys have already kind of just seen it in training camp, like the way that he is going to come in and make not only an impact, but change that culture. We actually were kind of just talking about this the other day in Chiefs Twitter about like, so who's the one yelling at training camp now with EB being gone? Like, who took over that role, right?
Yeah.
So I already know that the impact that he's making on that team, all of the things that were going on with your organization, he's going to keep that outside of the locker room. He is going to keep that team focused on what the goal is at hand, whether it's making it to the playoffs or winning the division, whatever it is. But he's definitely no nonsense. He's going to keep that team in check. And I really think it's just something that's great, kind of along the lines of what Meg says, of it's going to be something that's going to be a culture shift. And I think it's something that everybody's going to have to adjust to. But once people truly learn who EB is and they get past his hard-head mentality and his loud voice, that is also very it's the word I'm looking for. Everyone loves his laugh. He's just such a ball of positive energy, even though he comes across like an asshole. And once everybody kind of learns to get past that, he's going to be your favorite person on the whole entire team. And you guys will see why he'll probably take on that head coaching role in the next 1 to 2 years, because I definitely think it's coming.
Well, I think he's going to – sorry, Maestro, I was going to say,
go ahead.
I think Rivera's up out of there, if not – mid-season than by the end of this coming season, because I think Magic Johnson is not playing games when he says, yo, I don't want to own a team just to own a team. I don't want to do this for show. I want to win. And so I think he's going to do everything necessary to do that.
And you guys just picked up Byron Pringle, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys have someone, you have Andrew Wiley. So, I mean, you guys have a few guys there coming in on your offense who have worked closely with EB too. So it's kind of nice because they'll be able to at least translate to the other players like, y'all, this is just how he is. He's going to get us through. The beginning of training camp is going to be tough, but by the end of it, your guys should feel like ready to go by week 1. Like, I still to this day can listen to an EB speech and want to run through a wall. Like, that's the type of impact that he has just on the community, the team, everybody. So, I think
go ahead, E.
I was just going to say that's how I feel about Kirby Smart, but hey.
Yeah, so it's no coincidence. I agree with everything y'all saying. It's no coincidence that I'm scrolling through Twitter earlier today, and again, me being from the DMV area, I get a whole bunch of Commanders rumors and all that fun stuff. And I don't know if this is true, but I definitely saw it before I got on, that Ron Rivera is listed as the head coach, but he's no longer listed as a front office guy on the Redskins website. So it's interesting that y'all brought that up. I thought that was very, very interesting that y'all brought that up.
And I'm glad you said Redskins. I'm glad you said that.
I said I tried so hard.
I'm like, did I say it? It's a very hard.
I tried so hard not to say it, though. I really do, because at this point, right? You kind of have to see the name Redskins synonymous with the mess that Dan Snyder. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
You kind of got to see it as synonymous. So I'm trying to get it out my vocabulary, but I've been here all my life. So
now you heard they're gonna change it. Like they might change
it again.
Change the name. Yeah, they might change.
I mean, this is. So that, I think this is.
See, I thought that was a rumor.
It's a culture shift, right? Like this is the culture shift. So that means anything's on the table. Like I really think people don't realize like the gravity of that. Right, new stadium, new name, new ownership. Like this is literally we are wiping Dan Snyder from the foundation of this organization, and we
a new Sean Taylor statue.
Yeah,
a real statue,
a real one,
a real one.
But I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing. If you got to just delete it all and wipe it all clean, now it's very, very expensive. But y'all definitely got the owners who got the bread to make sure something like that can happen. So and your fans alone are going to be all in. Like y'all can literally raise the ticket prices at this point, and fans are going to because they're what's coming next. So
well, the one thing that they're gonna have to rectify, or at least give us some confidence about, me, Trey, been talking about this for months on end, is are they going to really move this team to Virginia, or are they going to do what they're supposed to be doing and put them down in D.C. by old
put
RFK?
Them at the old RFK site.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's going to be the first thing. That's the first conversation that I've had with everybody. Who cares? Where are you moving? Because it's time to get to Landover. I know y'all. I don't know how often y'all have ever been in this area, but Landover, the stadium is trash. Let's just know where to slice it. The stadium is trash. I'm sure y'all seen on Shade Room water falling and people falling off and what do you call it?
Almost hurt Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Definitely trying to keep
all those things happen. So that's the first thing. And just me on a selfish wish list, they need to read. Magic Johnson got a movie theater out in Largo, and they done tore everything down but the movie theater and the Carolina Kitchen. I don't know if y'all got Carolina Kitchen where y'all at, but if they can just redo that movie theater, because it got Magic Johnson's name on it, and that was ghetto as hell. If they could just redo I'd be good. So go to D.C., redo RFK Stadium, and then redo Magic Johnson Theater in Largo, and the Commanders, or whatever you want to call the name. I am with it. I am officially with it.
I like the Washington football team. I really do. I actually like that name. That name actually kind of stuck.
That's popular. Yeah.
But what mascot are we having? Is it still Captain Tutty or whatever his name is?
Yeah. I don't think they're getting rid of Tutty. Yeah, I don't think they're getting rid of Tutty.
I still don't understand Alabama's mascot either, but that's another conversation for a whole nother day. So, it doesn't. I don't think that the mascot should matter. I just feel like at this point in time, keep the team name something simple. Because again, when I first heard Commanders, the first thing I did was like, you know what? My elementary school team name was the General. Mm-hmm, and then we had another school that was called Geronimo, and they had the Commanders. So it just brought back memories of me in my little early cheerleading days of doing that. So again, I like the Washington football team. I don't think that y'all should go for any other type of name but that, because it stands out. Y'all be the only team with like a unique name that represents who you really are.
I always said it needed to be the Washington Red Tails in honor of the Tuskegee Airmen. I've said that.
I like that.
I
like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I've said that for a while.
Magic
Johnson, take notes.
But I was with you. So I ain't gonna cap. Mm-hmm. I was with you. Mm-hmm. But I was talking to some niggas, and the niggas was like, bruh, I feel you, but tails, nah, we ain't. Because then you got to do the Tuskegee Airmen conversation, all the time when you brother. So I ain't gonna lie, I just fell off a red. I don't know what they gonna name it, but he convinced me. I had to get off the red tail.
What about
because every time I gotta say it, I gotta say Tuskegee Airmen.
Hey, Maestro, hey, ladies. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, "What about naming the football team the Bullets?" Like the old Washington Bullets basketball team.
I mean, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't like it. It is a terrible idea. One, because it belongs to the basketball team. That's one.
Yeah.
And two, it was a reason why they got rid of the Bullets to begin with. So they're not going to get the Bullets off. They're not going to get that off.
I just can't. I can't imagine someone being like, "Yeah, go Bullets!" Like, what?
Hey,
I mean, they did when the basketball team was named the Bullets.
I mean, I know, but it was terrible then, and it's still a terrible idea now. Like, you might as well keep Commanders.
I think for me, I want y'all to focus on winning the division. I can care less what your name is.
Yeah.
Use an order first.
Hey, but they can say the same thing about Dallas. Dallas Cowboys belong in Dallas, not in Arlington.
I mean, it's a lot of teams like that, though.
Yeah,
the Jets and the Giants don't even play in New York; they play in New Jersey. Like,
yep.
It's fine.
Like, I think a lot of these teams need to get back to where their names are originally from. To be honest with you, but that's just me.
Yeah, but it's interesting. E, you bring that up. So, you a Braves fan? I know you're a Braves fan, right?
Yes, I am.
So I know that you're upset that they couldn't do nothing with Turner Field. So I imagine, because I got family in Atlanta, you take the train to the game or public transportation, but then they got to move the team out. What's that?
It really wasn't that they couldn't do anything. It was because people were tired of going down there to the hood.
Yep.
If you ever been to Atlanta, you ever been to Turner Field, you know exactly that stadium is legitimately smack dab in the hood. Like even the Georgia Dome was down the street from the Bluffs and Bankhead. So we all know that when you got a little bit of money, we come sniffing around, and there's a high homeless population that's down there in that area.
Right.
They're not that far from the Underground Mall either. So you gotta think that a lot of people are complaining about being robbed, about car break-ins, about this, about that. So again, the Braves organization moved up to Cobb, because I'm a season ticket holder, so they actually sent out a memo to say that with the Braves moving to Cobb County, it actually brought in business and it actually brought in them money. So guess who's happy? But it did cut us off from the transportation, because you can't take the MARTA up there to Cobb. You got to get off at a particular stop, take the bus to get over there to the stadium, but you still got to walk.
Try and make us do too much.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. Going out there to the games, it's less of us and more of them. So they're happy.
Yeah, great fucking
they're
point.
Happy.
Great point. All right, let's get into some contract talk, and I am going to start with Jodi because this is in her division. I'm sorry. Your boy Justin Herbert got a 5-year extension, $262 million, $218 million guaranteed, which is I'm gonna throw my shade in there, way more than some black, maybe more deserving quarterback should have gotten. But your thoughts on it?
Okay, so make sure you watch episode 1 of It's the Sports Tea, because I put my hot take on there for this.
She told him to go. She told him to go to heck.
Yeah.
I called it though. She called
this.
Yeah, I called this. So my take was, we know that there's some quarterbacks who are expected to get paid this year, right?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, all of those people, right? I knew that Justin Herbert was going to get paid first. Before Burrow, just because Burrow's the better quarterback and he'll probably get more money.
Right.
I was expecting Justin to be paid. I was not expecting him to be paid until at least the season was over. So for it to come out this soon, like this quickly, it's shocking. But I mean, at the same time, I understand, trying to get the deal done so they don't have to try to go through any negotiations later. I'm sure Justin's agent went to them like, this is the number that'll make us happy. So if you can do this number now, then let's just get the job done. I also think that Justin will have a really good year because Kellen Moore is there too. I know a lot of people aren't high on that, but I think that Justin Herbert and Kellen Moore together are a really good combination.
Okay.
quarterback that he wants or he needs.
Yeah.
I actually expect the Chargers to be decent this year. I did think he was going to get paid. I do think their head coach is still going to be fired in the next year or two. I'm very shocked that he got paid so much so quickly with, them blowing that lead that they did last year.
Yeah.
To the Jags.
Yeah.
Kind of shocking. But that is what it is. I mean, pay him now before Joe Burrow gets paid, even though Joe Burrow probably wasn't going to get paid until after. So I think it's good for the Chargers. They have so much opportunity to be a really, really good team. I haven't decided if they're going to make it to the playoffs yet because
Neither have I.
The AFC is a headache, but I do think that they are definitely taking steps in the correct direction. They just need to get rid of that head coach.
Yeah, I agree.
Trey, give them smoke. Give these people smoke who would dare pay this white man so extravagantly over.
I don't get it.
Listen, I'll tell you why it happened is because the NFL, the NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league.
Yep.
Right. Two. Here's the other thing.
He choked away a playoff game.
And Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl.
Hold on.
The head coach also did not get fired from that.
But so here's the thing though. Like it's the same sort of situation when Kyler Murray came up after 2 years in the league was like, hey, I want a new deal. And you know what he got? A new deal. Because the thing is, you need a franchise quarterback. Without one, hello Colts. I know what that's like when you don't have that stability at that position and you don't pay people. You end up throwing money at older quarterbacks, anything to try to fix a situation. So I understand why they
shot at Matt Ryan.
Herbert. Hey, listen, I'm sorry.
That shot.
And I was a big Matt Ryan fan. You know that, but it is what it is. But my point being is that, like, if you don't have that stability at the position, that quarterback can force his way off the team, create a big old scene, a big old headache that you don't want, and somebody else can pay him. I mean, I know it seems asinine, but the thing is, like, quarterbacks know the value they hold.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. So
especially white ones.
Kyler Murray coming up and being like, "Hey, run me my money because hello, I am the cornerstone of the franchise."
Yeah. But
Justin Herbert is gonna be good in this league for a long
time. For sure.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not knocking Herbert. I think he deserved to be paid at some point. Yeah. Me personally, I feel like you need some playoff wins. I need to see the conference championship, a trip to the Super Bowl before I throw money. But I understand I'm not the one throwing the money here, and I know why teams are doing it.
But you're not gonna get that with a quarterback.
Huh?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You and your Patrick Mahomes takes, Lord Jesus.
Justin Herbert can only be as good as he can be when you're playing.
But we're going to keep him in the conversation, though. And I'll put it to you like this. As long as Josh Allen is in the conversation, you're going to have Justin Herbert follow.
That's a fact.
Right back. Because at the end of the day, when we look at it, a lot of people don't think that Josh Allen is that great, the same way they don't think Justin Herbert's that great. But at the same token, as long as those two are right there, they're going to follow each other. So at the end of the day,
the MVP before the season starts.
Exactly. I mean, we rank him in the top 5. We rank both of them in the top 5. But again, what has Josh Allen done? What has Justin Herbert done? It does not matter. I mean, in the same thing, like
Herbert wasn't in my top 5, but
about to say he might be like 6 or 7. He might be 6 or 7.
Yeah, he's not in my top 5. He's actually number 7 for me.
Yeah. Look, but I'm just saying that I'm going off of what all the synopsis. If you go look it up, you're going to see
If you argue, you would see him possibly there. Or close to there. Sure.
There. And it's going to be that. And then when we get to the talks of Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, when we get to our brothers, it's always kind of, okay, we can use that with J. Herb and Josh Allen, what have you done for me lately? But then now we're going in and being nitpicky. Well, you were injured, you did this, you can't complete a whole season. It's a little bit more tricky because, again, we weren't never meant to play that quarterback position in the first place. Let's be honest. They didn't want it.
That's a fact. Yeah.
But had one heck of an injury last year, too, with them ribs. But him coming back into that game after
NBA,
he's a tough dude for doing that.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy.
If my quarterback is gonna go out there and play like that and have that type of grit, I get it.
Yeah.
Just seen Patrick Mahomes do it, and he got re-injured in the Super Bowl. Whatever they juiced him up with, though, he went off.
That's
Yeah,
all I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, right,
Wasn't
right.
Mac Jones who had that high ankle sprain and had to get carried off the field?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, pain is different for everybody.
The pain is there. But I know what it looked like, though. I know what it looked like, though.
But my problem is not with Herbert. My problem is with the league, because the league told us that Deshaun Watson's contract was an outlier. The $230 million was an outlier, and I get that, Herbert's guarantees are way different than Watson's guarantees. But we had, Maestro? We had 4 black quarterbacks get paid after Deshaun Watson.
Nobody got over 190. Nobody
got over $190 million.
Guaranteed.
Nobody was going to give them 230 plus. You're talking about if Deshaun gets 230, that means somebody comes in and says, you know what, I want 280. I want 300. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want 300 mil fully guaranteed, which is why the owners were like, absolutely not. I don't know what you're doing over there, Browns, but we're not doing that. I think it's a lot easier for someone to come in and say, hey, I'll do
desperation
180, I was getting there. 180 guaranteed or whatever the number is, to do that and say, hey, we can get you incentives to get you up to that number, right? Like, we know you're probably going to do it anyways, but we want to see the incentives. The issue with the Deshaun Watson contract is that it was the Browns in pure desperation.
Yes.
Because Deshaun Watson was going to go sign in Atlanta.
We agree.
They hit him with the hey big head text in the middle of the night and was like, okay, what do you want?
Pen the paper.
I'm with you.
Pen was on paper.
They were like, okay, cool. And had no issues with doing that because they felt like the talent outweighed whatever his off the field issues were.
Right.
And that's why I think the rest of the league is like, okay, no, absolutely not. We're not about to get ourselves tangled in this sort of situation where we have all this money invested into one player fully guaranteed. So if this man never plays a single down for us, we've already given him 230 mil off the top.
Off the top, yeah.
So in my head, though, I feel like the league would know that contract was coming out, though. Like, I don't think that was just solely in.
Right. I think if the NFL wanted to shut that $230 million shit down, they could have shut it down. That's what I think.
But there's no rule that says you can't do that. It's just unprecedented because nobody had the
NFL can't do that.
Knew it was coming, and they probably were against it.
No, I mean, here's the thing about the owners. I'm gonna tell you about Uncle Art. Okay, Uncle Art answered the phone call. Yeah, we call him Uncle Art. Uncle Art answered the phone call for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson called us. So for Uncle Art to even mess up the relationship when he has come out publicly and has always said that Matt Ryan will be a Falcon for life. As soon as that happened, all of that went out the window. So these owners knew that at the same time he had those issues, but they knew that he was going to cost money. And the issue with us was we didn't really have the money. We were going to have to find a way to figure out and do it. So when the Browns came out there, and let's take a little look at the history of the Browns. When have the Browns had the franchise quarterback in their history?
Yeah. Right.
So to have this man actually looking at you, and then for a fact that, hey, calling the Falcons, they have this connection. Penn was literally to paper to sign with us. Like Jodi or Meg said, hey, you get a call in the middle of the night. Hey, we got 230 for you. What you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so basically you're saying the Cleveland Browns busted open. I got you. So if the Cleveland Browns busted open, so Joe Burrow is coming next and Justin Herbert got 218. So how's Cincinnati going to act?
Well, they're definitely going to pay him. They just might not be able to keep everybody.
Does it get to 230? Guaranteed.
I think with the injury guarantee, probably up to 230.
They can afford to do that. I think if they could, they would. Yeah. I don't think they can afford it. Like, so, their organization just was bought out by a bank, and that's what all NFL teams do right before they're getting ready to pay their head guys. What we did right before we paid Pat, right?
Yep.
So they just went out and pretty much got the money, but they have so many guys.
And Esther.
Hey, I mean, you see, what's his name? Joe Mixon just took a pay cut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they got to pay T. Higgins, and then you got Ja'Marr Chase that's coming up too for his contract.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of guys over there that you got to think about.
Well, and I think that they're gonna figure out a way to keep Burrow and Chase. I just don't know what that number looks like. But if that organization is smart enough, they will not let those two walk.
Yeah, no, T. Higgins is gone.
Yeah.
They're not keeping T. Higgins.
I thought Mixon would be gone, but he took a pay cut. But I think it's because he's
after this, he's gonna be gone.
He would have been gone too if he didn't take the pay cut. He would have been gone right along.
Yeah, they was already gone. Yeah.
And I ain't gonna hold you. He might be still gone next year.
That's why I said I'm like he's still gonna be gone. So that's saving them more money at that. But the problem is when you gotta look at it is the guarantee. Yeah, what is Joey Burrow looking at as far as these guarantees go?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. He's open to taking a team-friendly deal.
Nah, baby, let me tell you something. New Orleans is finna come a knocking if he try to take a team-friendly deal. New Orleans will love to have.
I don't think he. I think that him and Jamar Chase, that connection for the next 5 years could be so dominant, especially in the AFC.
I agree.
I mean, they went out and drafted Jamar Chase for Joe Burrow.
For him. Yeah.
And then they got T. Higgins as insurance. So at some point, you got to think that, okay, great, we have to pay Burrow. Yeah. How the heck are we going to spread it out, across the rest of the offense? Obviously, you're not letting Jamar Chase walk. Mm-hmm. I do think that T. Higgins becomes expendable at that point because his production has not warranted him really staying and being like a true top number 2, if that's even such a thing. But I think at this point, I would not be shocked because the thing is, right now, Justin Herbert is the highest paid quarterback in the league on a per year average, right? Yeah. That number is going to keep going up, which is why I keep telling people, I'm like, you see these guarantees and they look, insane. They're going to keep going up as these contracts, the market constantly gets reset. So I would not be shocked to see a Joe Burrow come away with, put this in soft quotes, at 230 guaranteed, but it's tiered in such a way that it's like, hey, it's based on incentives. Hey, it's an injury guarantee. It's this.
And they better front load the heck out of that contract.
And I think they will. I honestly think
they will. He would deserve it too.
I mean, but not necessarily, right? Yeah. Not necessarily. So Pat's going into year 7, and this is the year that he's going to get most of his money.
Right.
Yeah.
But when have you seen a deal like Pat since then?
I mean, yes, it's an amazing deal, but I could see the Bengals doing something along the lines of that for Joe.
That depends on how their salaries are going to look at that, how that salary cap is going to look. You see, y'all planned that out based on what y'all knew about the salary cap. Yeah. So that this year y'all could take majority of the hit. Now, if we go look at the other years, you guys probably wouldn't be able to take that much of a hit. And I'm going to throw Kyler Murray in there because
years were like a bonus.
There you go. But now let's take Kyler Murray and look at it.
Well, but they're a terrible franchise.
Yeah, and they did not have to pay Kyler Murray at the time he asked for the money.
No,
at all.
Terrible organization.
The Falcons learned from that from Julio Jones. Hey, honey, I'm waiting on my alimony. But the Falcons learned from that with Julio Jones. Okay, yes, I'm waiting on my alimony. But, yeah, when he asked for his contract like that, that's how come Matt Ryan had that $40 million at the end when he's going through and not producing those same numbers is because we had to find a way to pay Julio. So, yes, that again, people got to understand, front load these contracts. Do not do that in the back. And don't be like a Jerry Jones to keep restructuring until you can't restructure no more.
Right. Ebony, you on fire. So the next question is absolutely for you. And this is a loaded question.
Oh Lord.
Your rookie running back is the highest paid running back in the NFL this year. Please make it make sense.
Wild. Wild stuff, man.
Hey, all I'm going to say is this. All I'm going to really say is this about Bijan, Mr. Robertson, okay? One,
Mr. Robinson
if you,
is crazy.
Yes, Mr. Robertson. I should put Mrs. on my back. But anyway, but no, so.
Y'all going to get her started
honestly, now. Yeah, y'all going to get me really started. But no, I would say this. This is how I'm going to defend this question.
Okay.
One, Falcons never really had a good running back since Michael the Burner Turner. Okay, even when we had our little tandem with Devontae Freeman, we can say Warwick Dunn, but I'm talking about like in this.
Oh, okay. I was like,
we're not going back. We're not going back.
Yeah, you're talking about post Michael Vick, post Vick.
Okay,
all right.
All right. I'm about to come defend your own team.
No. We're not going back on Falcons history because again, nobody can't touch them. But I'm just saying, in this era, in this up and coming era, no, we just haven't had literally since. I guess you could say literally Michael Turner from this era on.
Yeah.
And then you can count Devontae Freeman. You can count I forgot his name, but he played with the 49ers. That shows you how much I forget about players.
Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, Tevin Coleman. When we had that duo going into the Super Bowl. But the issue is that Arthur Smith had Derrick Henry. He did not have that going in here. We ran Cordell Patterson down. That man was supposed to be a wide receiver. We turned him into a running back. We done ran this man down to where he can't even really finish a whole season.
He probably the reason running backs.
I'm gonna cut you off for two.
Yeah, go ahead, Maestro. Go ahead.
Him and Ty Montgomery is the reason why we going through all this shit. Let's be very clear. He is the reason why we going through why Saquon Barkley can't get a contract, why running backs is having all these meetings on Zoom. It's because your team and the Green Bay Packers and even in some respects Baltimore Ravens, because they went and picked up Ty Montgomery the next year. And he had like a 700-yard rushing season. Y'all filthy for that. So I
don't know about that. I don't know about 700 yards, but go ahead.
And the Falcons for the reason why people like Saquon Barkley, arguably top 5 in the league at running back right now, can't get his bread.
And Josh Jacobs didn't show.
And right.
Yeah.
Right.
Leading rusher can't even get a contract.
Hey, look, all I'm going to say is this. Thomas Dimitrov, because he left our team in shambles to where we had to figure out some type of way to be able to compete. So blame Thomas Dimitrov for that one. But no, so again, to fulfill Arthur Smith's dream of what he likes to run again, he likes to run a 2 tight end set. He likes to have that big back running back. Again, we all know this is turning into a more of a passing league than a running league too at that. So we are leaving out the running back. But Arthur Smith is like, hey, no, we going to continue to do this. This is how you help balance. And then plus we have a rookie quarterback, even though everybody said it's his second year. This is his first full year as being a starter. So this is, we got to help Desmond Ridder out some way, somehow. Like, again, Arthur Smith wants to run, even though our base is going to be more like that 11 personnel, but he wants to tap into that 12 personnel, that 13 personnel. I can even see us running that 22 personnel. Like, it's going to be so nasty that it's really going to pick your poison. So why not go ahead and pay this man? Because he's not going to be just used as a running back. I can have this man outside, lined up on the outside in the slot, baby. Defend that with Drake London and Kyle Pitts over here.
We gotta get y'all buttons. We gotta get y'all buttons.
Mute buttons and all that.
No, like ring and chime buttons. Oh. Yeah, we gotta get the chime buttons. Go ahead,
Jodi.
I don't end up like we did, drafting CEH in the first round, and that is kicking our ass today. Tried to give him away like a car air freshener this year and could not. He's still on this team. We still got to deal with him.
But no, I'll prove it to you like this. The only way that's going to happen is if we fire Arthur Smith. That's the only thing. I don't see that no time soon because this is really it's his third year, but this is his really first full year with his players, with money, with a team that actually compete. Come on, man. We were literally sitting over here. Half the team we had ain't even in the league no more when he came over there. Yeah. Like, this man took paperclip and bubblegum and put together a team where we actually won 7 games. We weren't even supposed to win 7 games last year.
Hey, Ebony, no cap, but y'all might win the South this year. The way that division is looking right now.
Don't get her started.
Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. If I could just push Trey out the Zoom there, because that sounded a little bit panderish to me.
No. I'll be honest with you. The South is last year the South was mid.
Yeah, y'all still mid. Don't worry. Y'all still mid.
Everybody in that division's mid.
Yeah, y'all still mid. Don't worry. Y'all didn't get high grade. Y'all still mid.
South is gonna come down between us and the Saints. Let's just put it like that. Just pay attention. That last game of the season when Atlanta travels to New Orleans, that is going to be who wins the division. We're still going to playoffs. I don't care. I mean, I want to win the division.
Talk that talk.
This is the time to be
an good thing this is recorded, so when they don't do that, we're going to pull that right back up.
No,
that's right. That's right.
King Cut It right there. That's King Cut It. I call him Young Cut It right there.
But hold on. But Meg, it's gonna take y'all a while to win the division. Remember, y'all still building down there. You know, the AFC.
I'm fine. Listen, you haven't heard me say nothing about my division because I know where we are. Falcons fans are the ones who are the most finicky people I've ever met. We are win the division or the sky is falling. Like there is no in between. So this confidence, I'm like, okay, listen, forget I'm married to a Falcons fan who always tells me, listen, I'm not watching them. I'm not gonna let them ruin my Sunday. But then, you know, when you get good things happen, he's like, yeah, we got Big Sean. Wait a minute, didn't convince you to go to your own Falcons game last season? Like I'm the one that bought you tickets to the game so that we could go.
You don't see. Let me tell you about it like this: the Falcons have hurt us so much that sometimes if they start this losing streak, you kind of just want to sit at home and just take a drink and just kind of watch them. You don't really want to be out in public doing all of that, because I'm telling you right now, it's been so many times where I had him pace back and forth in my living room, my son thinking that something is wrong. I've then lost my voice because I'm screaming at the TV. I can go sleep after that. I don't want to sit over here and hear other opposing fans laughing and giggling and jumping around in my face. I ain't got time to go to this.
It sounds like a toxic relationship, Ebony. I ain't gonna hold you. It sounds like a toxic relationship.
It is. But I'm dirty bird to the day that I
opposing fan laughing. I can never come there on a Sunday. I will only come for a Monday night game or a Thursday night game because the fact that y'all got a Chick-fil-A and it's closed on Sunday makes me angry.
Only college football teams get to experience that, unfortunately.
So, Meg, I want to know how you feel like this running back market thing is going to affect your running back, because maybe more impact. This is maybe more impactful to your running back than Pacheco with Jodi. So I want to know your thoughts on this situation, because Jonathan Taylor, obviously he was injured last year, but I mean it's touted as one of the backs in the league, one of the good ones. So how do you think this is going to affect Taylor? Are they going to fix this?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So a couple things. So right before this call, like literally probably minutes before we got on the podcast, Jim Irsay tweeted and said, we did all this work to, you know, put together the CBA to make sure that players get essentially a fair shake at a contract, only for you to now say that this one player is now devalued, right? So it's interesting. I thought that was pretty strong words coming from an owner to say that. And it's also interesting today. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. Chris Ballard also said, hey, the running back market is what it is, but we believe in paying our players. So I think that is starkly different than what a lot of the league is leaning towards, and why you saw it kind of drag out with the Giants. I actually had a back and forth with Damian Woody in my mentions yesterday about like, hey, you know, my argument was, when you have a unicorn in this new wave, right? Like this is a passing wave, but you got a unicorn. You got a Derrick Henry. You got a Jonathan Taylor. You got a Josh Jacobs.
Nick Chubb. Yep.
Nick Chubb. Right. You want to, in my opinion, you want to pay them. They are a unicorn, right? His argument back to me was, he was like, well, when's the last time you saw a team that paid a running back win anything? And I get it. I do. I wholeheartedly get it. That's a valid argument. But my point I asked him was, what is considered a fair price for them then, right? Because the franchise tag for a wide receiver is 19 mil, right? For a running back, it's now down to just 10 mil. And in my opinion, there's probably only a handful of backs in this league who are worth more than the 10 mil. Now, I'm not saying I really feel comfortable, you know, dropping off 19 mil for a running back or anything else like that to those levels, but I could see a 12 or a 13, or heck, you know, we've seen a 16 mil in Green Bay.
15,
You know what I mean? So you've seen those high numbers. So that tells you, okay, yeah, this can be done. Where it gets very interesting now is, let's say you take those players off those teams, right? Take Derrick Henry off the Titans.
Trash.
And tell me if you wouldn't pay him the money. Tell me if you wouldn't pay him the money.
I mean, take Saquon off the
Giants.
Right. Yeah, same thing.
And that's my point, is that, like, I get it that the league is moving towards a situation where they're like, hey, I can go younger, I can go cheaper, I can get someone who does just as much as you. I get it. I do. I really do. But again, my argument to you is, if you have a unicorn in this situation, an elite back, I would argue that you would want to pay them, especially if you have a younger quarterback who still needs time to develop. If you have a rookie quarterback, right, who needs a safety valve, a true trusted safety valve, right? And I think for Jonathan Taylor, it becomes very interesting because outside of the injuries, Jonathan Taylor had last year, the season before, he was the leading rusher in the league, right? Like 1,800 yards, a gazillion touchdowns. I mean, I'm being dramatic, but several touchdowns and things like that. And Jonathan Taylor wasn't coming out producing that, but the back half of his rookie year into his sophomore year, I mean, he literally took off. Teams were now game planning for, oh my gosh, we have to stop this man, right? So this how you know that, like, okay, well, this is a core staple piece that I think the Colts are going to pay. I'm not worried about the deal for Jonathan Taylor per se, but I think what he is doing is watching what's happening. And I tweeted this as well. He's watching what's happening with the Saquon Barkley situation, the Josh Jacobs situation, because at some point JT is going to have to get paid, right? Michael Pittman Jr. is also next in line on the Colts to get paid.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out what this number is that seems, quote, reasonable for this production.
And there's no way in hell that y'all paying Michael Pittman more, and I guess in balance, more than you're paying Jonathan Taylor.
Well, you might that might actually happen at this point because again, the running back market is not as high as we think it is. So think, for example, Saquon said, "Hey, the franchise tag is unacceptable to me, right? Yeah. It's completely unacceptable." His deal that he got is really darn close to the amount of franchise tag.
It's the tag. It's the tag plus incentives. Yeah.
Like you did all of that for $909,000. Like you did all of that for $909,000.
But my point is, I think for Saquon, he wanted to feel valued, right? That's the biggest thing. Like, yes, the money is important, and I think some of these other backs who are speaking a lot, Eckler and Henry and Christian McCaffrey were like, hey, I just want to feel valued. The money matters. Don't get me wrong. The money matters. But at the end of the day, Saquon wanted to feel like he was valued, and if they had come to the table initially with something like that, he might have taken it off the top.
Right.
He would have been like, okay, cool. Maybe this is not as high as I want to be, but I want to be here. I want to play football, right? That's always been his message. So I think he kind of showed them, like, listen, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show my tail a little bit, but I need you to know I'm serious. I need you to know, like, how much I'm valued here. I don't think it was ever so much of, hey, I'm going to hold out, 8 games of the season and not play, but it was like, no, I think I am among the league's elite, and I feel like I should at least be paid close to what that that tag number is if you're going to tag me and not give me the deal. So now this is essentially betting on himself to go and get that 11 mil, and then I would think they're probably going to come back and do a new deal. But at this point, I'll say this: if Jonathan Taylor's deal doesn't get done now, I could see him waiting until the Saquon deal gets done and then coming back to the Colts and saying, "Okay, what you got?"
Well, and I'm a kind of piggyback off of this.
The Giants ain't got many left. They just played 3 people. Just played 3. They ain't got no money. Unless they do a whole bunch of restructuring next year, which I highly doubt.
Yeah.
They just paid a quarterback that threw 12 touchdown passes. Like
we're not going to talk about that.
I mean, I told you, what did I say? They know they got to pay their quarterbacks, regardless of production. They know they got to pay their quarterbacks. So.
I said it then. Daniel Jones, you can get the hell off my team for all that. I'm keeping Saquon.
But they said, but who's going to come over there and replace him when you really kind of think about it?
Daniel Jones wasn't that damn good. I'll find somebody.
I mean, don't get Trey Lance.
It was, to be honest with you, it was Dable. Dable is the one who saved Jones, honestly, to be really honest with you.
Saquon was that offense.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably why he was like, pay me. Hello.
Yeah. To Meg's point about the running back feeling value, a lot of people are not even realizing and understanding that when they did this new CBA agreement, and this is the Earth State Street, where were the players? Half the players didn't even show up to even vote on that. So you guys got to understand that it's not the fact that the NFL is looking at that the running back market and not valuing them. You guys are not valuing yourself. You got to go in there and speak for yourself. That's why the whole CBA is there. That's why they have the player union. Speak for yourself, and don't think, okay, they got it. They can sit over there and do it, because now we're in a situation to where we're saying, okay, well, the NFL is not valuing the running back position. They're not, again, since 2015, this amount for the running backs haven't went up like that anyway, but then we're paying $19 million for a wide receiver. We're throwing money at Daniel Jones. Like, sis, so again, people don't realize, and this goes back to just even voting and period. If you want your voice heard, you gotta step up and make sure that it's heard, and you gotta be there. You gotta value yourself. That's like us with jobs. If we want a raise, guess what we gonna do? Hey, what's up, bruh? We need to talk. I need more money. We gotta advocate for ourselves, and that's the same thing that these NFL players gotta think about. It's just not the running back. This could be any position.
Yeah,
there could be any position.
Or you could strike, and it's almost what I thought that whole Zoom meeting was gonna be about between the running backs. Yeah, I thought they was gonna be like, we're not showing up for work.
Ain't no way in hell, bruh. It's still millions on the table, bruh. So just quick stats. So the average running back salary, I in my research, because I had some time today, is $1.76 million a year. That's just average around the league. The top, this is not super updated, but obviously number one is Bijan Robinson. And the rest of the list goes not in no particular order. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is at 10.2. Number 7 is David Montgomery at 5.2.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they aren't making nearly as much money as you think they're making.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, when people are scoffing at 10 mil, I'm like,
that's why you go out and you get you a 6th, 7th round running back.
Right, exactly.
Well, and and that's the argument people are making.
I don't believe in paying running backs.
So the real question is,
though.
Of course you don't, Jodi.
Well, I was gonna say, here's the thing though, y'all got Edward Solaire.
Ever since this isn't new. I've always felt this way. Ever since we got CEH, I'm like, why the hell did we go and get him in the first round? Because I also don't believe in getting a running back in the first round. B, paying.
Shots fired.
Like, just
Saquon was in the first round too. That shot fired at him.
I'm ready to pay Najee. By the way, I'm ready to pay Najee. I'm ready to pay him. So when that comes up, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. For those who don't know, when that comes up, I'm ready to pay Najee somewhere close to 12.
But I mean, all the wear and tear on their bodies, as much work as they're putting in, and then you want to pay this guy.
You need but that's why you need a running mate with them. A lot of people,
Jalen Warren.
That's why you need somebody. I'm gonna use mine for example. We had Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier hit 1,000 yards. A lot of our
friends was in the 6th or 7th round. You ain't got to get him.
Tyler Algier was a 5th round hit.
Because then you got to pay them all that money. So like the unfortunate situation for us is Pop Pacheco. We call him Pop. He's on, came in on his rookie deal. By the time it's finally time to pay him, he's gonna be 28. Anybody paying him at 28? You know what I mean? But we also got him in the 7th round. So it's like, we know, like, I think the understanding is already there. Like, he's going to make all of his money just based off the incentives happening in the playoffs or to the Super Bowl or whatever it is. That's where he's going to make all his money up. And hopefully, he has smart enough financial advisor.
I think what we're talking about is trying to identify, I think Meg kind of alluded to it, is that we're trying to identify the unicorn. Everybody else can get paid $5 million, whatever you want to do, but we're not going to sit here and disrespect the best of the best. And I think that's what the issue is. You can't disrespect the best of the best.
Right.
And that was my argument today.
Second round pick.
Like,
first round pick.
What is your value for the unicorn? Like I totally get the argument of like, hey, I'm not paying running backs. I can get somebody younger, cheaper, faster, whatever.
Cool.
But
you're not going to get
come
the
across
same
a
value.
Generational talent. What's your threshold? Right?
You got to assess
those do happen. Like those happen. So I mean, I feel like this is a situation by situation basis, right? Like we're not just gonna go out and be like, oh, okay, all running backs get 15 or whatever. Yeah. But if you got the top backs in the league who are all getting together because they're like, hey, there aren't that many of us left. We all need to be paid, well or whatever else. So you'll go out and you'll pay a generational wide receiver, right? Like you'd go out and you'd pay Justin Jefferson. There would never be a question about whether or not you'd pay Justin Jefferson, right?
You break the market for him, right?
So why? Again, I get that you're moving towards a passing league, but if you have a generational talent like a Derrick Henry, a Jonathan Taylor, anything
that's
else like that, why? I mean, there's generational talent,
and that's what makes him a unicorn.
So unicorn if it's a unicorn, I'm willing to pay, right? Like it is.
Let's be clear. It's only about 7 of them at
listen,
max.
I'll give you a perfect example, and this is not football related.
Yeah.
But I'm currently covering the Atlanta Dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one on that team makes more than $1 million. I'm not going to disclose their salaries because you can go look, but no one on that team makes more than $1 million, right? Other than maybe head coach. The thing is, they have a generational talent in Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard is a walking bucket, complete walking bucket. But she is not paid like NBA players are, right? Like this has been the argument
for like a Steph Curry.
Well, that's all
like that, or Trey Young, or something else like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Generational talents, and I get it's a difference in hey, revenues, that sort of thing. I'm not arguing that, but my point being is when you have a unicorn on your team, that's when you want to open up your checkbook and say, okay, sweetheart, what would you like? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, with all the incentives that the NFL has, I'm not understanding why you can't. You got all these TV deals. You got all of these Amazon, the YouTube TV just came in and bought the NFL Sunday ticket where you got ooh, my headphones just went out. But you have a lot of people that are signing up and getting. I mean, the NFL Network, NFL Sunday ticket is $200 and some odd on YouTube TV, and half of everybody I know has YouTube TV. So you have it. I'm like, Meg, what would you like? You like coffee or sugar? What else you want a maid to come in? You know, or do we want to do a Coming to America? You know, do we want to you want to wash your hair? What? Like, y'all should be doing that with these, because again, and this is no shade to Jodi, but
because I think completely different. Yeah, I mean, especially because the league is changing so much now. You look at teams like the Cowboys; they're running 2 power running backs.
But that's because they paid Zeke, though.
But that was the point, right? We're not going to pay Zeke, and we're going to go after 2 running backs. That way, we can have 2. We're not putting all the.
That's already been there, though. That's
I wouldn't have paid. I mean, I wouldn't have paid all that.
Well, Zeke has been paid. Like, he made a ton of money in his little 6-7 year career, 8 year career.
But here's the difference, though. The Cowboys ran Zeke down to the ground.
We did that too with Jamal Charles.
It was too late.
We did that too with Jamal Charles. And so you see that we've changed up, and a lot of teams are transitioning now to where they have 2 running backs that are that double.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing is, but when you have your whole offense though that is centered, and where you're using a Giants, you, like we said, take Saquon out of that Giants offense. What are you really going to get?
Well, I think we'll figure it out this year. It's a very high possibility that
Ty Montgomery.
It's a very high possibility that they're trying to figure out what they need to do to compete in that conference. That conference, every single team in there will put up 30+ points on you, and your running back ain't gonna be running it in the end zone 4 and 5 times a game. So they have to figure out.
I mean, they don't really have the personnel, really, when you think about
right. They don't have the receivers. The Giants don't have the personnel. They don't even have the quarterback, in my opinion.
Well, look at the people who just got paid. Who did they just put all their money into? Right.
The Giants.
That shows you what they're going towards in the future.
I mean, they just paid their left tackle. Shout out to Andrew Thomas.
You got to keep your quarterback. You can't win games if your quarterback's on the ground.
Yeah, but I mean, but we all know the offensive line. Like, let's put it like this: we all know the trenches have to be built anyway on both sides of the ball. You have to have those.
And if you have a great O-line, you don't have to have a great running back.
That's true.
That is true.
That's true.
That is true.
But in the same token, it depends on the scheme, because I will say this: we technically really didn't have a great O-line when we went to the Super Bowl, but we had 2 dynamic running backs that made a difference. Okay, and we're not gonna talk about we had Julio Jones, but we had 2 dynamic running backs that made a difference and kind of helped make that O-line look like it was something. So sometimes it could work the opposite way. If you
I think Joe Burrow's team was a whole lot better if they had a great O-line.
Yeah, and because what I would say, I mean,
even, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
You go.
The Bills, if they had a better O-line and a running back that could go in there and make an impact, they would be a whole lot better than what they are today.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we kind of, beating a dead horse, because I agree with Jodi's point. The running back doesn't have to be good if everything around him is good. It is about scheme, like you said. At the end of the day, I think the point that at least that I want to beat home is that don't disrespect generation talent. You can do it, you could Pacheco, like in her case, Pacheco. You can treat Pacheco that way with all due respect. He ain't a generational talent. We don't know about Bijan Robinson yet, but at least he looks that way, so you treat him that way. Jonathan Taylor, I would hope would be the same way. You got to treat those guys like those guys. Again, another couple of names that I didn't bring into this running back conversation that should be mentioned. No, but glad you said him.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook. He's out there.
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
I think he's gonna end up with the Bills.
But I think he's gonna end up with the Jets.
Oh, he'll be with his brother.
I think he's gonna end up with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers just took a pay cut.
He did definitely just restructure.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
He's going to the Jets.
They don't. You think they don't trust Brees?
He's coming off the injury. He's coming off the injury.
I don't.
I mean,
they're definitely about to go get somebody.
What's the other running back they have?
Because
another dude.
Michael Carter.
Yeah, there you go.
Because once again, you're talking about, and I don't know where Dalvin Cook healthy looks like he's generational talent.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can get him, if you can get him in for the low and say, hey, prove to me you can do what you gotta do, while we got Aaron Rodgers and the offense they put together with an already solid defense, I see that. I see that happening 100%. The names I was talking about that ruined the market is, unfortunately, in my mind, Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley. So that's the other side. That's the other side of the situation.
Yes.
Those are the two people that said, I got to get paid because I'm doing all this for the team. And the second they got paid, got injured or was not good in Le'Veon Bell's case. Yeah. So, I mean, so
Todd Gurley case, too.
Well,
okay, for Todd Gurley, I blame that on the Rams because, one, y'all knew when y'all drafted him at number 10 that he had and was coming off that ACL injury that he suffered at Georgia. Mm-hmm. That's where they kind of – and then on top of that, we go back to the running mate. He didn't have a running mate when he really ran. They used this man and ran him to the ground to where there was nothing. I kind of really blame that on the Rams. If they would have kind of gave him a little – I mean, they did that too to Steven Jackson, but we're not going to talk about that. Like they did that to him too. But if you look at it and you kind of go back, once he even kind of went to Atlanta, he was kind of able to take a little time off. He was that Todd Gurley that he was with the Rams, but I just felt like the Rams kind of ran him down. So that's another thing. When you have those running backs coming off an injury, you don't know what type of running back that you're going to get because of how much wear and tear that they do take with that ball. So I kind of blame the Rams for Todd Gurley.
And maybe it's a delicate balance, right? It's a balance of workload. It's a balance of paying them, the right amount or whatever. And I think that's probably what we're kind of getting at as we kind of discuss this in real time. But I'm hearing a lot of like, hey, they ran this guy into the ground, they ran that guy into the ground, then the money looked terrible because the guy was ran into the ground. So I think it's a lot of factors. It is, offensive line. It is the running back themselves. It is the workload. It's okay. Hey, we don't want to have so much money tied up in them. It's a balance. It really is. It really is a balance.
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. I would say I'll close it with this, man. How much loyalty do you owe to the product when it's business to begin with?
Literally.
I mean, and listen, on that note, though, this is why they tell players go get paid because the teams aren't loyal. So I can't blame these running backs for saying, please run me my money. I really can't because you never know.
You can be a Kareem Hunt playing 1 year. After that, they say, hey, bro, you got to go. You can't even negotiate your contract. So you can fit.
Kareem Hunt don't got a job right now.
No, he does not.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess this is a lighter topic. We got some WNBA reporters around here, and I just kind of want to ask you guys about your experiences. I seen Jodi on Twitter with my absolute favoriteest Jordans of all time. The Jordan Flint 13s, yeah, those are my absolute favorite Jordans of all time, and that's when I knew. That's when I knew. Like, all right, we might be friends in real life because you know what I mean. Yeah, but talk to me about your experiences covering the WNBA. I start with Jodi.
And congrats, by the way, for getting those gigs
for sure.
Man, it's been like quite the experience. And I know Meg can probably attest to that too. Me and her were just talking about how like this is how it's our both first season covering. The Dallas Wings, they're just like a crazy good team. Like you can't. Our big three is insane. You have Arike, and I never say her last name right.
Ogumbawale.
Ogumbawale.
Yes.
I never can say it. Like I always have to think through it to say it. You got Satu Sable. You have Natasha Howard. Like our big three, they are very dynamic. And I will say, like at the beginning of the season, they were definitely trying to figure out how to build that chemistry and to make it work. And it seems like now they're finally clicking on all cylinders. Every single press conference that I've done with them, they're all like, we're just getting started. Like, yeah, we're out here and we're trying to dominate as much as we possibly can, but we're just getting started. And, you know, I think it speaks volume to our bench too. Like even last night, we did lose. We broke our 5-game win streak last night, losing to Connecticut, who they are incredible. They're the number 3 in the WNBA right now. Our bench players came out and they were like insane. Veronica Burton went crazy. Owak, and I cannot say her last name either. Kuier. You
got some homework to do, Jodi.
I can't say your name. I'm not gonna butcher it, right?
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
respect that.
You're right.
They came off the bench yesterday, and they just made an immediate impact. Went down 12 and going into halftime up 2 with them 2 just coming off of the bench. So I mean, I'm really excited for this team. There's still 17 games left to go in the regular season. I can't imagine what's gonna happen next. Our team, the Dallas Wings, Meg's gonna talk about her team, the Atlanta Dream. These two teams have been battling back and forth literally probably for the last like 3-4 weeks. Like our teams are going back between 4th place and 5th place, 4th place and 5th place, 4th. And so it's like, I don't know.
I got to be the referee because they try to throw jabs at each other. So
I have not thrown any jabs. I have not. Hashtag Bully Jodi.
No, it's been, well, and that's because we've been chasing the dream for weeks and we finally got ahead of them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like now what? So, you know, it's really interesting. So I don't know if y'all paid attention, but of course the Aces are number 1.
Yep.
I thought I was gonna have to say it, but
the Liberty's right there with them.
Liberty's number 2, and then Connecticut's number 3, and then it goes the Wings, and then it goes the Dreams, and then it goes the DC, the Mystics, right?
Yeah.
So we actually played the Mystics on Friday, and Meg and them, Atlanta, they played the Mystics on Sunday. And us 3 teams are really battling right now between 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Yeah. And we're all, I think me and Meg both have a tied record of 13-10 or 16-10, 13-10. And they're 12-11. I'm not looking at my notes. They're 12-11. So, I mean, all of us are literally between just like one game of how this conference can rotate. And everybody's in playoff mode right now. So everybody's pretty much thinking like playoff mode. And I think like the most important thing for us right now, which has been nice, is we've been healthy. And if we could just stay healthy through the remainder of this season, then we got a good shot of hopefully making a run in the playoffs. So.
Now, do you guys as reporters travel with the team, or you guys just cover the respective home games?
Just home games. Just
home games.
Okay. Okay. Talk to me about the Dream.
Yeah, well, first let me say this. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be able to cover the Atlanta Dream. I can't say that enough. I was sitting here thinking about it the other day. I was having a moment, and Jodi was like, "Hey, breathe." But the thing is, like, I realized in that moment just how much it meant to me to be able to cover this team. I've come, I kind of came in maybe a little more than quarter way through the season, right? They had finished like 10 games or so, a little more than that. And it was right before they went on their 7-game win streak. And I just really kind of getting my feet wet, learning, right moments to ask questions, things like that. Basketball is not my like first love, right? Football is, but I watch basketball, Spurs fan, that sort of thing. So obviously I can play, I can follow the game, things like that. But having to get deep into my analytics bag on finding things and being able to give those nuggets and ask about those things and learning about sets and, all that sort of thing. So it's been a fun ride. It's been a wild ride. But it's all in good fun. Let me say that. As far as the Dream, like they are a team who I feel like when they are on, they are absolutely on. The biggest thing for them is, of course, consistency. And Coach Wright will tell you that as well. Accountability and consistency is the two words she has mentioned to me and several other reporters, like very frequently. Consistency and accountability. I think for them, they got a tough stretch coming up, so they really want to, get it together. They played the Phoenix Mercury earlier this week. That was on Tuesday. I say earlier this week. That was like yesterday. It feels like a lifetime ago. But it was yesterday, and I was there for that game. And first of all, let me say this: it was really good to see BG in person. That was first time experience.
Shout out to BG.
Yeah, shout out to BG.
Did you get to go in their press conference at all?
I didn't. I did not, girl. It
didn't come to yours.
Lots of people wanted to see BG.
Well, in Dallas, when we played them, they ended up doing their press conference, and then they came over to the wing side and they let us interview them.
Okay,
nice.
So I think for us, like, we're allowed to, like, we're not necessarily allowed to go over there, but we can join the Zoom if we want to talk to them or whatever else. Which at that point, like, I knew I had to get an article out and some other things, so I couldn't do that. But I will say that in that moment, again, it also realized like just how much the WNBA means to these fans, means to the players, the coaches, and it was just really good to see. And I think for Atlanta, for them, they really have to get some consistency from their starters, and of course their bench is a big X factor too. Coach and I have talked about that some weeks ago, that they've got to get more of their bench. They happened to do it yesterday because their bench got time, but they got some shooters on that bench, and I really want to highlight Ari McDonald. She just came back from injury. She's had 25 points in 2 games with playing minimal, I'm gonna say in soft quotes, minimal minutes. But I was telling one of the other reporters, I was like, oh no, I was like, her new nickname is Ari McBuckets, because she came off the bench like a rocket, and she just so much fire and energy and passion and just injected into that team. And it's so good to see that. And I'm starting to learn the nuances with the players and things like that, getting to know them on deeper levels. Coach Wright is phenomenal. Cannot say enough good things about her. One of the things that we mentioned, or she mentioned yesterday to us, is that, as reporters, we're always looking at the records, the stats, and things like that. So the Dream broke several records yesterday. Ryan Howard's the fastest player in the WNBA to 153s, which is great. She did in 57 games. Danielle Robinson moved into 10th all time on the all-time assists records, overtaking Coach Wright. Alicia Gray recorded her 100th block in her career, so there was a lot happening in that game. Okay. So of course we brought that up in the press conference, and Coach Wright goes, "Oh, you guys know all the stats. Like, I'm impressed." And the thing is, though, like, that's for her to say that, I think is really, like, it carries some weight, because it's tough to get in these press conferences and know the right questions to ask. Jodi and I talk about it all the time. Like,
you literally took the question out of my mouth. I was getting ready to ask you. Like, I watch them on, I watch them online or whatever, and it's only so many questions you get to ask. Period. So it's important to ask the right question to get the most information possible.
And to not ask a question that somebody else asked, because
correct.
You're pretty much like fighting with the people around you.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. It's can you be the first? Can you get the correct question out? Right. Can you get a deeper kind of nugget out from from the players, from the coaches? And it's tough. Like I tell Jodi all the time, you could come in with a great question. You're like, ooh, I'm gonna ask this, and then something happens that like completely throws your question. Like, either the team loses, or they tell you, hey, you're gonna have this player and this player in in the press conference, and those players don't come in. So now you gotta think on the fly because there's different players sitting in front of you. Like, there's all these things that happen that you have to be really, really good to be able to do. And so I remember my first time going in there, I was like, I got
I'm like, sit in the front.
Like, Jodi's coaching me up, and I'm like, I got nothing. Like, I really got nothing. But the first question I asked was, and it was to Nia Coffey and Alicia Gray. I said, hey, what is one word that you would use to describe your first quarter of the season, right? And both of them were like stumped, like they had nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, good question.
Right.
I literally came up with that on the fly because they were like, hey, the press conference is going to start here soon. And I walked in, and the press conference started 30 seconds after I walked in. So I really had no time to really prep my questions, because also my credentials came like lightning speed, probably right like the day before. There was so much that was happening before I got in that moment. So I say all that to say that like there was a lot of learning happening on the fly. Every day we're getting better. Every day we are learning how to interact with our players, interact with the coaches, interact with the staff, which is, by the way, Atlanta Dream staff is phenomenal, by the way. And I'm not just saying that because I'm covering them. They are phenomenal people. They're great, wonderful people. But yeah, you're learning all that on the fly and how to tailor it, on the fly. So it's been a really, really fun experience, and I look forward to doing more of it.
But I
Messy
think
question.
But I think I was gonna. Hey, Maestro, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, but I think the moment where you guys start to pivot when it comes to, okay, somebody asked the question that I was gonna ask. Now I gotta think of something on the fly. I think the moment you guys get to that point and you can alter your way of getting your questions out, I think that's where you're gonna be like, okay, it's gonna start to come fluid now as each game and each press conference goes by.
Yeah, I mean, like, even I've had conversations with Meg, and I'm like, I think the most important thing is you not only do you want to keep building that relationship with the coaches and the players, sit in the front and ask a question every single
time.
Yeah.
Every single game, ask a question. And if you can get 2 questions in, do that, because what starts to happen is they start looking for you in the room.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, right before we broke our winning streak, when I was talking to Coach, she's like, "Hey, Jodi, how are you?" And it was kind of cool to have that connection with her because she knows I'm gonna ask her something every single time I see her.
Right.
For them to start looking out for you, it makes you feel like, okay, maybe I am doing something right, and you definitely always are thinking off the fly. And Meg, when you talk about BG, that makes me think my very first WNBA press conference period. My question was to BG, and my question was like the 10th question, because everybody had questions.
Right.
Actually trying to wrap her up and get her out the room, and she seen I was gonna say something, and they were like, she got to go, and she's like, no, I got it. What's up? And I'm like, oh, okay, so let me ask a great question then. So it was really nice to kind of have that experience, and at that moment, that's when I was like, all right, like, set your nerves aside. You know you can do this.
Yeah.
Yes, you're in this room with a whole bunch of people that might look like you, but you can still do this job and you can be great at it. So
y'all do such a dope job. Y'all really
messy question.
Thank you.
Messy question that you can answer, PC, if you like.
Okay.
So with all of that y'all just said, I can imagine that it can be competitive in that room. Talk to me about that.
Like in the media room?
In the media room. Who don't like who?
Oh gosh. Oh no, I'm definitely not answering that.
Okay.
Definitely not answering that. But I will say this. I've not experienced an environment like that.
Okay.
So, I don't even know them like that, but the people who I have met have been extremely helpful. Okay. Like a lot of the people who I've met, they're like, Jodi, we got to get you on with the Mavs next. So how do we connect with Dallas Mavs? So if anything, it's been nothing but like positive connections, and everybody trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody trying to grow their socials, because at the end of the day, we're all out here trying to do the same exact thing.
Yep.
So if I can get some of your followers, you can have some of my followers, because we all are liking and talking about the same things anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I'll say this. I've not experienced an environment like that, which is why I was like, no, I'm definitely not answering that question, because I don't even know. But I will say this is that, you do realize, like, there is a little bit of competitiveness, and hey, you want to get your question, those sorts of things. But I will say this, the best thing that could have happened for me was that being in the environment with the WNBA prepared me to go into other environments. So I got to cover an Atlanta United game, right? Mm-hmm. That's a lot bigger presence, right? I did that a couple weeks ago. It's a lot more folks in there. And also, which makes it very interesting, I did my first locker room kind of interviews, and that was like, holy cow, like you see the photos and the videos of people with, everyone's got their phones and they're interviewing and microphone. It was all of that. And it is very much like, who can get my question out, first, right? Or can I make sure I'm heard? And I am small.
That's why you're short. You can.
I am 5 foot and all of 5'2". So for me, I automatically I'm trying to be up in the front, because I'm like, first of all, I can't even see.
Second time I've heard that. That's the second time I've heard short people work in these situations.
Yes, they do. This is the one time where I was like, my height is helping me out here. Thank you so much. but I'm short and I can't see. And the other thing is, you're probably not going to hear me if I'm behind taller people. So I automatically, like, as soon as games ends and things like that, and we're allowed to go into these spaces, I try to go immediately beeline, get my seat so I can see, and also get my seat so I can ask my questions, those sorts of things. So I think for me, it's less of like, hey, yes, I got to compete with the folks around me, but the folks around me in those rooms have been so helpful. They have been super, super great about answering questions, about like, hey, the big thing about, of course, watching basketball games is they are quick. They are fast. Everything happens fast. So when we're sitting there, there'll be times that we'll miss things. And so
all
we'll have
the
to
damn
lean over.
time. I'm like, shut that free.
Yes, exactly. By the time that you try to like write it down or tweet it or anything, like they have moved on. It's moving.
Right,
so there are times where I've had to lean over and say, "Hey, did you see that?" And someone's been kind enough to do that. They don't have to do that for me, right? They really don't. They could focus on themselves. But it's really about the relationship building, which again, I felt so comfortable in these environments because of the warm like people that have been there.
Now, Meg, did you also cover a Colts practice? I thought I saw you announce that you was covering.
I have not done it yet, but I got credentialed to cover Colts camp, so I am going on August the 10th to cover Colts training camp, which I'm super excited about, and also looking forward to rubbing some shoulders with some of the media folks who I've been chopping it up with for years on Twitter and things like that. But also, hey, it's an honor and privilege. Again, I don't take these credentials lightly at all. So when I get to do things like this, I make sure I make the most of it, and I'm super excited to do that.
Nice. Now, you're just covering the camp. You're not covering games just yet, right?
Not yet. That is, obviously that would be great to do. That is something that
we're gonna speak that into existence.
It's happening. It's happening.
But it's the thing. Here's the thing. I told E and Jodi this all the time, that I'm so proud of us and all the work that we're doing. And this podcast has been so helpful for our confidence and getting into these spaces. We want to get E there too. I mean, she doesn't know that yet, but we want to get her there too.
She's going to get there. If she can figure out that schedule, she should.
Yeah, I have a freshman I have a brand new freshman that started in high school, so we got to get his schedule together and got him on there. He's actually going to one of the top schools in the state of Georgia for
recruiting. Nice. Congrats.
Going to be sitting over there scouting. So we're making our way over there to actually get me over there. My goal is to actually go and do a Georgia game. And then we're going to try to, me and Meg both are going to try to get into with them Falcons, since they don't want to open up credentials for training camp. We're going to be in there during the season.
That's what's up.
I want to talk about Chiefs credentials.
Right. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
they're like, all right, we're already at max capacity. I'm like,
I was just about to say, speaking of competitive, it's competitive out here, especially for other leagues and things like that. So again, like I said, I don't take it for granted at all. If I'm able to get into a space, not only do I'm grateful for the credential, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be around other people who are doing what I do and to network. And if I get nothing outside of it, I've introduced myself. I've made I've made it know who I am. I try to make sure I say hey to everyone that's in the environment, because I always feel like, okay, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever happens with what I do here, like in this role that I'm currently in, I want to make sure that I'm really good at what I do and that I leave an impact on the people. So these credentials are great, but for me, it's all about the relationships and getting to know people. And how can I tell stories, right? How can I get these deeper stories for these people, especially in an area like the WNBA that needs more coverage? It's in a league that's growing. So again, this is me like building up these great stories about these players who absolutely deserve the recognition. And I take that same sort of thing and I want to do that for the Colts. I want to do that for other spaces. Wherever I'm allowed to be and afford the opportunity to be, I want to do that.
Absolutely. And that's honestly how the sports tea actually really came about. Because somebody kind of really overhearing our conversation, giving us our props for actually knowing this, and legitimately this is what really kind of pushed us to like, okay, you know what, if we have this much effect on just a stranger just literally just overhearing our conversation, what more can we do with it ourselves? Because again, women in media, women in, even I seen some coaches. I seen the Chiefs. Didn't you guys just get your first female coach, or who was that? It was a team that just got there. Yeah, I thought it was your Chiefs. I seen some red, but I gotta go back and go look. But it, women actually coming in, coaching now.
Yeah.
You know, so again, we have to start building a platform for ourselves again, especially in this big world of men that we're competing with every day. It's about our time that we actually get out here and show like, hey, we know things just like that. Yeah, we can play basketball too. We may can't play football like that, but hey, I play powder puff. I was
and our goal at the end of the day is to be bigger than the NFL.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
It's not. We're tapping into. We're
trying to get into
on baseball. Because her with her Kansas City Royals / Rangers fan.
They about to have 100 losses tomorrow. Like, they are so bad. No.
We're tapping into baseball. We're getting into soccer. I'm about to watch
those Rangers credentials also tough.
Braves credentials. That World Series set them. I don't even with the season tickets. Braves credentials. I really want to pop the heck out of them right now. So yes,
so that's where we're at. That's what's happening with this.
No doubt, no doubt. So
I definitely go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, so I wanted to get to my favorite part of the show.
Before you do that,
go ahead.
Because I was going to do that too. But before you do that, I don't want to forget. We got to shout out Jaylen Brown. 5 years, $304 million. No matter how much you feel about how he should have been paid, I get it. I ain't here to do that. He should have
came back to Atlanta. He would have got his money.
Look.
Hey.
And hey, Trey, you want to see? And you want to know something funny?
What up?
So of course I'm scrolling Twitter. That's why I like to find all the fun rumors and interesting opinions. Somebody made it their business to post that he was dating Bernice Burgos again.
I don't have the energy to be trying to keep up with, like, people's who they're dating, who they're not dating, like.
But they made it their business.
That is deep in the trenches there. Like that's
if
really.
I missed one day on just like today.
Today.
I was so busy today, and then I looked at Twitter and I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm
you should see the group chat of her just going boom, 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 boom.
Like, what happened? What happened? So like
that's how I felt last night while I was at the game and the Herbert news dropped, and I was like, I can't even, like, there's too much happening. The Herbert news dropped. I can't tweet about this. Like, I was just like, man,
it was a crazy couple of days with the amount of money that was just going out to folks. It was crazy.
Hey, Alexa, play Young Dolph Get Paid.
Hey,
all right.
Hey. No, I didn't have to do all that because my kids was running me rampant last night, so I didn't get to do all that news. But when I got away from them, I got in my little corner and hid. That's when I was able to catch up. But now, Trey, we can get to the best part of the show, our favorite part of the show.
Absolutely,
I'm gonna give all three of you ladies the precursor, the warning. Every single, not one time that it's missed, where we do a top 5 conversation, I get a text, a tweet, a phone call, or something about who the fuck is these people with their list. They don't know what the fuck they talking about, et cetera, et cetera, and et cetera.
Or my show, we anger a particular fan base, i.e. the Dog Pound. We ain't talk about that, but that was crazy. That was crazy when we did the show last time.
So I'm gonna give each of you ladies a top 5 scenario. This is nothing historical, so you don't have to go all the way deep into the bag. I'm going to start with Ebony. I want you to name your top 5 players in the NFC South.
All right. Spicy. My mouth hurts talking
this sounds like some real hot tea. I can't wait.
Listen, depending on what you say, we put this in the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, look, it is some river hot tea, but this is in no particular order because
that's fair.
Yep, that's all good. No order.
Let her live.
We'll be here at 10:30 if we had to put it in order. Because then I gotta argue.
Let her live.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, looking at this, there's actually some good players in the NFC South. Like I have to admit, we do have some good players in the NFC South. But I'm gonna start off and throw out these names: Cam Jordan, AJ Terrell, Alvin
like that.
Kamara, Brian Burns, Tristan Wirfs. And then these are honorable mentions, though. I like I said, it was tough, but I was trying to do a little mix there with it. I'm going to shout out Mike Evans, Jeremy Chin, and I'm putting Bijan Robinson in there.
Already.
Dang.
All right.
He ain't even play it down yet.
Now, look, hey, it's honorable mentions.
Okay.
This is embarrassing. This is nasty work from you.
Look, and it's your list, so I'm not going to tell you wrong.
Yeah, it's your list.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell her she's wrong.
Honorable mentions, because you already know Jodi's going to put Patrick Mahomes at number 1. She can put Patrick Mahomes for the whole 5. She'll be fine.
You know.
Yeah, she's going to dial it, so.
I'll be honest with you, she'd kind of be right, but now Patrick Mahomes is him.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But just for the one time, so people know your top 5. I just need to know what your top 5 is because you went through it fast.
I'm gonna slow it down. So I said Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
AJ Terrell.
Okay.
Kamara. Brian Burns, and then Tristan Wirfs. I think Wirfs.
Wirfs. Yep.
Wirfs. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
All right, I can respect that. Although I would have put Mike Evans up in there, but you know what? It's your list.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of give, I'm a defensive girl anyway. I was gonna do all defensive players to be honest with you. So yeah.
Right.
I would have been mad at that.
Right, and no Shaq Thompson either. I noticed you.
No.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's so many Panthers.
She meant it.
Okay.
JC Horn neither, huh?
And that's too many Panthers.
Okay.
Okay.
It already hurts to put Cam Jordan.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could have went to Via Vea too. With I could have did Via Vea, but
that's true. That's true.
I was trying to be fair.
All right, I respect it.
Megan, the AFC South.
Oof.
Top 5 players.
All right. So this is in no order at all because this was tough. I'm gonna go. Jodi, don't make that face at me. Listen, you're just gonna have to be disappointed today, okay?
Come on now.
All right. So Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Forrest Buckner, Laramie Tunsil, Kevin Byard. I think is that 5?
That's 5. That was 5.
Okay. 5. I did have some honorable mentions here, and the only reason I have honorable mentions because they haven't played like themselves in a while.
Okay.
So it's Shaq Leonard and Quentin Nelson is my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Because even though I believe both of them are top players in the league, we have not seen them at their best due to injuries, and then of course Quentin Nelson just had a down year.
Right.
That's my list.
No Trevor Lawrence.
You said top 5.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah. Listen, okay, and it's not that I wouldn't put Trevor Lawrence on a list like that, but I feel like I have to see more out of Trevor Lawrence for me to put. Hold on, Jodi.
Jodi.
I would have to see more.
So it's okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I would have to see more out of Trevor Lawrence for me to be like, yeah, he's top 5 out of the entire division.
That's fair.
For me, right?
That's fair. I just want to hear.
But to be fair, he is on my list of way too early MVP predictions for the league because he's been on a tear since week 9 of last season.
That's a fact.
And I would love to see him continue that. That trajectory with the help of Doug Peterson. So again, when he gets there, we can revisit this list and I'll tinker with it a little bit more, and probably have Jodi roll her eyes at me a little bit more. But that's my list, and I'm gonna stick beside it.
Okay,
that's what's up.
I'll just say one point here. So the only guy I'll mention is the linebacker from Jacksonville, Olukan. He led the league in tackles this past season. And so,
that just hurts.
I mean, it's tough because I could have. I mean, no, I don't think he's the best player, but when you have records like that,
Walker too.
I could have put Zaire Franklin on there because he broke Shaq Leonard's season record for tackles. But you're talking about best players out the whole division. Like, it's tough. The AFC South actually has some really nice, solid talent, spread across the team. So just 5 was tough, and I was like, oh. This is painful.
Yeah. I get Russ Hill all the time. So yeah.
All right, Jodi.
Top four.
Yeah. Matter of fact, give her 2.
Don't laugh at me because not only do I have my top 5 in order,
Oh Lord.
I have things about each person.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I'm ready.
Hey, talk your shit. Go ahead.
They're not all Chiefs players. Okay. My number 5, because I'm gonna start with number 5.
But are they? Hold on, before you go, is 60% of them Chiefs?
Yes.
3 out of 5.
At least 40% of it is. At the very least, 40.
Blinking, right? You're seeing her blinking, right?
Definitely
Yeah. Again.
My number 5, Denver Broncos. I would say PS2. King Pat Surtain, he's a dog.
Okay.
All pro, and he was a Pro Bowler last year. My number 4, Raiders, Max Crosby, insane. 2-time Pro Bowler, All Pro, and he's going into his 4th season. My number 3 is Chris Jones, 2-time Super Bowl champion, All Pro,
on brand.
Pro Bowler, entering year 8. My number 2 is Travis Kelce.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
He has the most 1,000-yard seasons. He has 7 as a tight end, 2-time Super Bowl champion, All Pro, first team 4 times. Also,
you know,
Pro Bowler, and he's going year 11.
Don't even have to say number 1. Don't even
Just
Drum roll.
number 1.
Right?
Oh, I'm on pins and needles.
World champion, 2 times Super Bowl MVP, 2-time MVP.
You gonna say his whole name?
Pro, also won Offensive Player of the Year,
government name.
2018, 5-time Pro Bowler, and he's entering into year 7. So that's my top 5.
That's in case you didn't know, that's Patrick LaVon Mahomes, the second.
I didn't even know his middle name, man.
That's why we
he
said
got a real black middle name.
Yeah, she was gonna say the whole government name.
Yeah,
Whole government name.
And then the baby is Patrick LaVon Mahomes III.
Dang, know the family name. Know the kids'
What are
name,
the chances? What are the chances? I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Mentions Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Oh Lord,
She said that so painfully.
Yeah,
She's
right.
Like,
But
let's talk about
what
it.
are the chances that we can take Max Crosby out for Devontae Adams?
I think he's in my. I mean, you can put Josh Jacob in my honorable mention. You can put
That was
Devontae
gonna be-
Adams in my honorable mention.
yeah.
But if I look at the Raiders, I think Max Crosby, just because he wrecks that defense. Like
More than Devontae Adams?
Hey,
Yeah.
they got on me about Mike Evans, and
Listen, I'm totally judging your list now.
Without
She was
Brady.
up here judging our list. I am judging the heck out of your list.
He is like that. But if I had to have one Raiders player, I want Max Crosby.
You want Max Crosby?
Over Devontae and over Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, exactly. That is nasty work.
Here goes the thing. I can understand that because I mean they do have Jimmy Garoppolo, so it's Devontae Adams going to be where he needs to be.
He's still Devontae Adams, though. Like,
hey, Mike Evans is still Mike Evans, but would he be the same Mike Evans without Tom Brady?
I mean, but it's like Devontae Adams and like Mike Evans is like.
But I mean,
yeah, Mike Evans was Mike Evans before Tom Brady got there too. Like he was already.
There's a whole debate about Tyreek Hill in a sense, right? Yeah, you went to the Dolphins and you put up all these yards, but y'all didn't do nothing. So we'll see what it's gonna be like with this new quarterback because he might go out there and still produce great, and it still ends y'all 4th in the division. No one.
That is nasty work, man. That is nasty work.
So you gotta say 2 of your co-hosts did nasty work this evening.
Yeah, they did.
Wait a minute. Pause.
Megan feels like her 2 co-hosts did that dirty work.
Hold on. First of all, do you not understand that half of her list was Chiefs?
3 of them were. They are the best.
Listen, you already knew what kind of list it was going to be. We know her well enough.
It's her list.
It was 3 Chiefs off the top.
I'm not putting Russell Wilson in my top 5 in the AFC.
I'm not either. You don't belong there. You don't belong there.
Either. Cooper Cup. I like that.
Again, that's why I said this is a nasty work list. Like this is a nasty agenda.
Hey.
Hey, nasty thinking.
y'all allowed to be who y'all are.
We'll talk about it tomorrow on our podcast.
Yeah. I'm gonna say y'all allowed to be who y'all are. You know,
look,
if y'all want to do
that's
nasty
your
work,
list, and you're gonna stick beside it.
You allowed to do nasty
Cooper
work.
Cup plays for the Rams.
For the Rams.
Yeah. We caught that, but
I was
we let it slide.
Yeah.
We let it slide.
When you said Cooper Cup, you're like, wait a minute.
No, the only reason I said that is because it was that type of player. Like when you think of like a player who like wrecks games, I think Devontae Adams.
I think Max Crosby.
So like when you mention a Cooper Cup level, I'm like, so you think of Cooper Cup who's not in your division, but you don't think of Devontae Adams? Like, what is happening here?
Well, this is what I will say in defense. And by the way, I disagree with that. He should be there. But this is what I will say.
Not the same division.
Devontae Adams, this would be his second year with a questionable quarterback.
Yes.
That we'll see. But he's still Devontae. But as of right now, he's still Devontae Adams. As of right this second.
At the bottom.
As of right this, yeah.
All of that to be number 4.
You see all these shots fired.
Again.
Hey, we know. Look, we know you the champ, Shorty. You ain't got to do that.
This is Jodi all the time. She gonna remind you.
The Chargers, they need to get past the Broncos.
What did she tell us? The Bengals and the Chargers can both go to heck. Exactly like that.
Hey, Jodi, don't let the two bully you. I noticed in the previous episode they be trying to go at you. Look, your team.
Let me show you this group chat if you want to think about who's bullying who. It is
it's very. I'm very clear on who the bully is. It don't take me long to figure it out.
It's the whole thing. She has a whole hashtag that blame Jodi.
Hey, she got a right to bully. Her team got 2 chips. She got a right to talk her shit.
If they was trash, she would be a bully. If they were trash, she'd be a bully.
I thought we were friends. I thought we were family, and she was like, "Bump all that."
Hold on, Meg. You know, we did kind of leave you hanging too in Atlanta on a couple of times.
Exactly, and it was all E's fault. So
no, it's not fault.
So side note, when this whole conversation we talked about where like we all had this 4-hour conversation at brunch, that was part of a much larger weekend that I spent with them. The entire weekend I was pretty much with these folks more than I was with my own family. Mm-hmm. And at times I was like, listen, I'm not built for this. I don't go out. I don't stay out late. Like if it's past 9 o'clock, I'm not going. I got to put on clothes. I'm definitely not going. I got to pay to go wherever I'm going. I'm not going. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that they had me out past 9 o'clock and then had the nerve to be late after telling me to show up on time is where I was like, all right, like now I know it is hashtag blame Jodi / hashtag blame E.
I didn't have a car. I had to ride with E everywhere.
Well, but hold on. The thing is, we was over here trying to figure out where we were going. Here goes Jodi. Okay, I'm finna go like take a 15-minute nap, so I'll be up in a second.
We need a power nap. I told you I was trying to take a nap right.
I feel you. Look, my eyes have never been wide open. My eyes are always closed between lack of sleep or weed. So let's be very clear. It's one of the two. So my eyes never open. I try. My eyes never do it.
It's too bright.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Well, y'all ladies have different lifestyles, but y'all's chemistry is like that. And watching the show, y'all have fun. Y'all do a great job. And I appreciate the fact that you guys have this platform. And we're honored to have you guys on to, push your podcast as well. So, ladies, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming on. One last time for the folks out there, let everyone know where they can find you at social media and how they can catch the podcast.
Go ahead, E.
Oh, God, y'all making me start. Okay.
You're
y'all I know I am. I'm a talker a bit, but no. Y'all can follow me at Lady E_tell them, or you can just search up Eb the Goddess. You know, I can sit over there and do all of that. You know, I have a little thing. But you can catch the podcast Thursday, tomorrow. We expect to see y'all tomorrow. Interact with us.
We'll be there.
See y'all tomorrow. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, because somebody lives in Texas. But go ahead, Jodi.
She didn't finish that. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on
Instagram. I forgot.
You can follow us on Twitter.
No, we do that. We used to do that all the time. Oh, we forgot Twitter. We forgot YouTube. Like at one point, I wrote it down.
Threads. Hold on, you forgot Threads. Don't forget Threads.
I built that account, Jay.
Well, just go on throw Spill in there too. Throw the new joint in there.
Yeah, Threads. Yeah. Yep.
But the most important thing is follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, all of that. It's the Sports Tea.
And baby, it's hot tea too, so don't miss it.
It is. However, I am on all social media platforms at It's Jodi Newsome, ITS Jodi Newsome. Just like it's the sports tea, it's Jodi Newsome.
All right.
Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you go to Hall About Sports, that's HALL aboutsports.com, you will see my brand. It's now officially a media company. It just got registered today as an LLC.
Congrats.
So I'm super excited about that. Officially a walking business here.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
I appreciate that. Hallaboutsports.com. You'll see all of our socials on there, and it's direct links. If you want to follow me, it is at the Megan Hall on Instagram, and same thing on Twitter. Go ahead and give me a follow. I'll give you a follow back.
No doubt.
And shout out to Meg too, because she does our graphics, and they are amazing. So shout out to that, because I know for a fact we be kind of running her rampant. Me and Jodi both. We have OCD.
She be doing that to herself. I be like, go to sleep. She be like, but it's like 16. Go to bed, Megan.
Exactly.
I mean, I do those, but I would be remiss if I don't mention that we also have a guy who's been helping us very recently, Ty Ray, who's been doing a great job with editing some videos for us. If you see all of our recent any of our reels or things like that, that is Ty's work. He just started working with us, so shout out to him. Very good friend of mine, Danny Thompson, introduced me to Ty. And Mike Patton, of course, as well, is involved in that.
Shout out Mike Patton. Shout out to the homie.
Mike, how we got involved with Ty. So Ty's been really good to help us out, because I was getting stressed out too thin with all the things that I'm doing. So I was like, I need some help. And Danny mentioned it to Ty, and Ty hit me up, was like, hey, I can do that. So shout out to him.
No doubt.
Shout out to Roscoe.
Shout out to Roscoe too for hooking us up with the nice logo and everything else. And we were going back and forth about what this brand was gonna look like, and I blame Jodi as well for that. Where we could not get decisions settled.
Well, it's a great podcast, ladies, and continue the great work.
Tomorrow's episode 3. Can you believe it?
We tapped in.
Yep.
Hey, we tapped in.
We'll be
definitely
there.
Tapped in.
We'll be there. Ladies, again, we appreciate you. All the best, and we'll see you out there in the social media universe, and we'll catch up.
Yes,
thank you,
thank you guys.
Be good out there.
All right. All right. Y'all be safe out there. Y'all be safe. All right. That was 3 of the Sports Tea podcast, ladies. Jodi, Meg, and E. The goddess, aka Ebony. Check out their brand new podcast on YouTube, the Sports Tea Podcast, and all their individual accolades. You can follow them on Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff, man. So, yo, man, that was a dope show, man. That was really dope to have them on, man.
What you doing for the fight Saturday, man?
Oh man, I'm in New York on Saturday for an event.
You gotta find a way.
I'm gonna find a way. This the big one, right? This the big one, right? Yeah.
This is Earl Spence, Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
I already got two. I already put my foot in my mouth on Earl Spence. Put money. I'm not confident about Earl Spence winning. For those who don't know, I got Earl Spence winning. I'm not confident about it.
Okay.
But the people who be talking to me about Bud are so confident. And I don't like when people challenge me. So it's like, nigga.
Stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns.
Oh, I am.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got money involved. I got money involved.
Okay.
I got money involved.
Yeah.
So I'm intently watching.
Right.
So, that's going down Saturday. I wish I would have thought about it, because we need to get A-Train on here so we could talk about it. But,
that would have been something to talk about for certain. I'll be honest with you. I remember when they announced the date, and I just got so caught up in the time off and stuff. I totally forgot.
We've been talking about it crazy, nonstop. Everywhere I am that talks about boxing. Plus, Monica being in town, my sister being in town.
Yep.
So I'm gonna holler. I'm probably watch the fight with her. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So.
Yeah, I gotta find a way to get to a sports bar or something, because my in-laws don't have showtime. Yeah. So we'll figure that one out, man. But shout out to the ladies, Ebony, Jodi, and Meg, for coming through the podcast. blessing us with some of the great work that they've been doing on the WNBA tip, as well as covering the NFL and, and all that good stuff. Shout out to the viewers that watched us on YouTube, Facebook, on our Twitter handle as well. Continue to follow us on those platforms. Also, you can reach out to us via email, barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And I want to welcome a brand new audience. You can watch us on Twitch now. So this actually, and forgive me, don't hold it to my head, pause. We're streaming live on Twitch now moving forward. So for you folks out there that live religiously on Twitch, you could check us out there as well. Also, if you're listening to the audio, write us a review, whether you're watching us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, whatever streaming service you listen to. Write us a review. Let us know what you think about the show. It goes a long way. And bro, I'm happy to be back, man. So
yes, sir.
Let's sign off on here. Peace, love, and happiness, everyone. Y'all have a great week. We'll be back next week with another one. And as always, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh,
Recording
yeah, we
stop.
got him. Trey Fraser and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.